In the last week, we've spent a couple of days in the southwest portion of New Mexico in the Gila Wilderness near the ghost town of Mogollon, and we wanted to share some of the coolest things we saw while we were there.
Da, da, da.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay,
Okay.
here we go. So it's early for me. It's not early for this one. We're gonna go for a run. She's been up for way too many hours. And we are gonna go do some running down that way on that trail that says trail not maintained, difficult to find. So here we go. Well, how we feeling there, babe?
Yeah, my legs are concrete and they're not behaving the way I want them to.
We found a nice little creek bed. Drop a rock on it. So this area is called the Catwalk. There is a pathway that runs along the canyon walls. It's literally been carved into it with support beams and everything. It's pretty crazy. It's the third generation, what it used to look like.
While it may look like we are just torturing this poor dog, what actually happened was that she hates the metal grated floor that she can see through, so I put her on the bench so that she wouldn't have to deal with it while we were taking photos in this area. And then I tried to get her to jump off of the bench, and she was really nervous because she could see through the floor and wasn't sure if she'd be able to stand, so she just needed a little lift. What are we gonna go back and do?
Make some supper at camp.
Make some what?
Supper.
I don't call it supper. I call it dinner.
She's wrong.
you think, babe?
That was pretty sweet. That was a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
Yeah, who knew this was back here?
This down here, where the parking lot is now, there was a mill here. The mines were further up in the canyons. These here are the Mogollon Mountains. And there was a mill here that processed all the iron ore that came through. And it was built right here into the side of the hill.
Not what I signed up for. Babe.
What did you sign up for, babe?
This is not it.
So, if you're wondering what we're doing, this is where we could have parked. But we found a spot up at the top of the ridge that we liked better. So now, yeah, and we can camp up there. So now we are hiking up the hill. Lisa having no problems and wondering why we're so slow. Fast boy, we found a cool rock. What? Probably Sea Priest is stoked. Seriously though, it is pretty cool.
Look at all these little fossil shells. They're so
Possibly.
perfect.
Cool.
Hey, where are we going?
Going to Mogollon.
Mogollon. Where's Mogollon?
Ghost Town. What?
We're pretty big fans of ghost towns.
Yeah.
We need to go check out this one.
It's so narrow.
Yeah. And to get to any of the structures on the left-hand side, you got to walk over bridges.
Oh, mining cars.
Road narrows. Because it could definitely get more narrow.
Here she comes. Inside the mine. Pretty rudimentary structure. Something that's kind of cool. As you can see, right here, there's a tree root coming down from the ground above into the mine here. I got hollowed out. And then if you were to take a little turn here, you can see that right there is the end of the cavern. Yeah, so this rock is like pretty unstable, so I'm not gonna go pretty much past the entrance. And there's not very far to go from here, but pretty cool. So here at the top of the hill in Mogollon, we found the cemetery that was on the map, and there were some signs to it. You gotta hike way up this hill, and it's like really close to the big mining operation that's on the other hill. We're kind of figuring out why it wasn't closer to the town versus why it's close to the mine, because there are so many people here who only made it to their like low 20s, and it's kind of blowing my mind. Like, for example, behind me here, and we'll give you a close-up shot of this particular duo, but it's a mother and a son, and the mother was born in 1845, the son was born in 1888, and the mother outlived the son by 1 year. So the kid would have been, let's see here, math, 12, 21. Kid died at 21. Timothy Lockwood. Pretty crazy.
The majority of the headstones in here have dates of 10/28, 1918, 10/25, 1918. Like, they've all died in like the late October of 1918, and they're all, most of them have the same last name. So I wonder if there was a big accident or something.
Hey guys, so we're going to introduce a new thing, since a lot of times we do really cool stuff, and then we find out more stuff about it afterwards, aka Logan goes down a really crazy rabbit hole at like 12 in the morning, and we're going to call it Research Tower. So, welcome to the Research Tower.
So one of the things we learned that we noticed in the graveyard was that there were a lot of deaths, especially of young people, in late October of 1918. And it turns out that the cause of the majority of those deaths was the Spanish flu. So not unlike the pandemic of 2020.
Yeah. And, you know, on top of that, you know, in addition to the fact that there was a disease that ripped through in 1818 or 1918, the mines themselves were actually really unsafe. There were a lot of instances of black lung, and they were very dusty mines. And so because of that, a lot of the miners died after just 3 years in Mogollon. That was the average life expectancy.
Yeah.
However, the mines themselves, if you separate the human disaster, the mines did really well. By 1909, the miners were saying that 70% of the precious metals in New Mexico came from Mogollon. So during their lifetime, over 18 million ounces of silver were taken from the mines in the Mogollon Mountains. And by the time it was all said and done, about $20 million of gold and silver was taken out, with silver accounting for about 2/3 of that. So, pretty crazy how much precious metal came out of that area. Allegiant owns all the mining operations and everything, and in 2010, they discovered that it's still profitable to mine there, and only 6 or 7% of that area has been tapped. So, who knows, maybe Mogollon will be back on the map some other day, but for now, you get to just enjoy it like it is.